is up, everybody? Keith, aka Gator Guy 231. It is Wednesday, August 26th. 3 NBA games on the schedule. Let's jump right into the action. We'll be going position by position, giving you my top 3 to 4 guys that I'm going to be targeting today, in hopes that this helps you build on your lineups. So let's start at the point guard position. Again, done this the last few days, but I'm not going to spend as much time at all on the superstars. Like, you don't need me to tell you that LeBron James, Giannis, Harden, Davis are good plays. Like, obviously, very good plays. So let's go into the point guard position. First guy I want to highlight is Chris Paul. I've probably played a lot more Chris Paul than everybody else, with mixed results. So I will tell you, after watching, all of last game, rostering Chris Paul right now is one of the more tilting experiences. Like, he just will fade in and out of the games, but he's still playing elite minutes, 37, 37, 41, and 37. The 41 was in overtime. Still taking, 15 plus shots a game. Then the biggest thing to me is with Schroeder on the court, he's been playing a lot of off ball, which is crazy to me considering it's the best point guard potentially of the last decade. That's true point guard. But still gives you that 40-plus upside. I really do think that he can still go 50-plus if he wanted to take more command. It's just right now, it doesn't seem like that's the way that they want to go. That said, 8,100 I think is fine on this slate. Definitely not somebody that I'm crazy about, but the moment that you don't get crazy about somebody, that's when they go off. Dennis Schroeder's the next guy I want to bring up. God, he's been playing awesome. Scoring the ball at an elite rate, 16 and 23 shots the last 2 games, 30 and 29 real points. The biggest thing about Schroeder that you don't love is that so much of his scoring has to come from real points. So 30 points last game for 36 DK, 29 the game before for 46. That said, 6,400, we know we're going to get mid-30s minutes and a ton of on the ball. I think it's a very good play. Finally, Markelle Fultz coming off of a huge game. Honestly, he and Vooch are the 2 best players on the floor right now for Orlando, and really the only way that they're even going to make this a game. He outplayed Augustine, but, that is one thing to keep in mind, that if DJ Augustine does get the hot hand, Clifford has no problem riding him. That said, at 5,100, he's coming up for 35 DK. At 5,100, has hit that value in 2 of the 4 games. I think it's fine. I do not think it's a lock by any means. He honestly may get more owned than he should. That said, I do like the play, and I get it at 5,100. Let's go to shooting guard. Well, obviously, James Harden is the elite play on the slate coming after a huge game. But we're going to talk about CJ McCollum. There is no Dame Lillard. We know from regular season that when Lillard misses, McCollum gets on the ball a ton, has huge upside. Really, I think he's going to be super, 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 super popular. I kind of dig the fade in GPPs just because if the game gets out of hand, he's not going to be playing a ton, down 20, down 30. So if you do think the Lakers just throttle them, I think it's a great fade. If you do think the Blazers are playing for their lives and can keep this close, then at 8,100, you're going to want to lock CJ McCollum. All right, other shooting guard I love after McCollum is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Was absolutely stunning the last 2 games. On the ball a ton, 44 and 48 minutes. He's pretty much on the floor at all times. 17, 18 shots, getting a little bit of rebounding, assist. I think he's going to be super chalk. One of the first guys into my lineup. Honestly, he's my top play on today's slate and the first guy I clicked when we started. So love SGA here. Normally that means when we love SGA that he's going to let down, but I'm willing to take my chances with this many minutes and opportunity. Next thing I want to talk about is Terrence Ross. I actually think I prefer him to Markelle Fultz. The logs wouldn't, make you really think that, but, T-Sizzle, as Magic fans will call him, he can get really, really hot. He only shot 1 for 8 from 3 last game. Still managed 30 VK. Down the stretch, it was him on the floor, not James Ennis playing the 3. I just think that Ross gives you just that tournament-winning upside and potentially tournament-winning ownership, probably half of what Fultz has. Again, though, he's very similar to Schroeder. Just really has got to get that shot falling. Those 8 rebounds is more of an aberration than something that you'd expect, game after game. Just 2 other names. I won't go too much into it, but Gary Trent Jr. should see a lot more minutes for the Blazers with no Lillard. I think 4,800 is an efficient price. I don't think there's any deal on it. Danny Green, 4K. I'm never like the biggest Danny Green fan, but he is coming off of a decent game. Shot 5 for 8, 27 DK. Just did a little bit of everything. So I think it's fine. Again, I don't think Danny Green's ever somebody that you lock in your lineups and feel great about. Let's go over to small forward. Obviously, LeBron class of the small forward position, but I do think that this has a lot of depth. Small forward and power forward have some pretty interesting options in that mid-tier range. So I'm going to start out with Eric Gordon. I've played him every single game in this series, and I'm going to be playing him again today. Now, in the last 4 games, 17, 20, 24, 15 shots. Huge opportunity. He shot a lot better last game, 3 from 8 for 3, 8 for 15 from the field. Got us to 5x on this price. He's been 5x on this price every single game. I still think there's 40 plus, 50 plus if he just starts getting the shot down. He has a complete green light from D'Antoni. So at 6,100, I do think there's still just too much upside left. Much like those like the Schroeder and Ross, the biggest complaint with Gordon is that he's got to score to get his DK points. But again, with those type of shots, unlike Fultz and unlike Ross, these are elite 20-plus type of shot upside. So I do think there's a lot left there. We'll go ahead and do Carmelo here. Carmelo is definitely going to be thinking that he is the number 2 without Dame Lillard. Got it. That 2 DK versus LA in game 2, just that is disgusting to see. But that said, the last 2 games, 15 and 20 shots. We obviously know what Carmelo thinks of his game. We know that he can score. It's just, very, very hot and cold with him. That said, at 5,900, I think it's fine. Finally, I actually want to bring up, we'll talk about Covington House at power forward, but Luz Dort playing big minutes guarding Harden, 36 and 35 the last 2. Just isn't shooting the ball that well. But he's still getting there, just a little bit of everything. 20 DK, 25 the last 2 due to some rebounding and just enough scoring to get by. I think at 4,200, that is just fine. I probably do prefer him to Danny Green. James Ennis is down there too. I think that will get some steam. Issue with James Ennis is Terrence Ross just flat out outplayed him. And Ennis, if he's not making a shot, they need to get Ross on the floor to get some scoring. Power forward, obviously Giannis and Davis are elite plays. I think Davis has the ability in a close game to absolutely destroy everything that Portland can throw at him. Nurkic is too slow. Whiteside is too slow and not a good defender. So Davis, like we saw last game, can just absolutely destroy Portland. I want to talk about Robert Covington. I think you're getting a really nice price on him now at 5,700. After just really struggling the last 2 games, he kind of put it back together and had a more vintage Covey game, 34 minutes, 4 of 8 from 3. Look, I don't think that, it's a must by any means. Look, this whole slate is riddled with that, right? Like the guys that you don't necessarily want to love to play. I think pricing is pretty efficient across the board, so you're just going to be stuck in a lot of positions of who do you think can get there, get you to 5x, maybe give you some upside of 6x, and I think Covington fits that bill. I'll also just say I love the Houston OKC game. I think Milwaukee-Orlando is really scary from, Milwaukee trying to close the series out and just throttling Orlando, and same deal with Portland and LA versus Houston OKC. You just have played two straight high pace, close games. So I think as much of that game I can get in my lineups is what I want to do. Daniel House has been nothing short of awesome. He's been my value guy the last 2 video previews, but I think the value and the opportunity to get him a little lower owned is gone. 5,500 seems a little bit steep, but it's not considering what he's giving us, which is huge minutes, 38, 42, and 39, and just a ton of rebounding. Good opportunity for scoring because he just gets so many open threes. Last 3 games now, he has 24 3-points attempted, 30 in each game, so pretty hard to get around him. Gary Clark is in play. Again, he's similar to Ennis that he just doesn't do a ton other than score, and he's just not other than score, other than kind of spot up. The match versus Giannis, I haven't played once in this series. I don't think I'm going to start. Let's go over to the center position. Nick Vucevic. I don't think he'll be owned yet again just because everybody gets this high up. And they're like, okay, I'm going to go to Harden. I'm going to go to Davis. I'm going to go to Giannis. I'm going to go to LeBron. And Vucevic just kind of gets stuck in between. But has been the only reason that Orlando's still around this series. Has put up 60-plus twice, 50-plus once. Milwaukee just looks actually helpless defending him. And then Vooch does have triple-double upside. He's been on the ball a lot in that high post area and does a lot of facilitation. So I think he's a really good play. Maybe not cash, but a really good GPP play here, especially if you think he gets close. That's one that maybe you run it back with Giannis. Jeff Green was all over last game. Kind of disappointed. Still got a huge opportunity, 32 minutes. So I have no problem going back to him. I do think that he gives you big upside if his shot is falling. That said, I really like his teammate today, PJ Tucker. Was on him last game. Couldn't believe he was only like 8% in the 20. But huge minutes, 44 and 38 the last two. A lot of corner three opportunities, and he is going to rebound. So it's not just going to be scoring with him. He is going to give you boards, 8 and 11 the last two. So 4,300 to get that many minutes, opportunity. And if he's making his shots, really gives you 30 DK opportunity. I think is one of my favorite plays. Last guy I want to mention between is Adams and Lopez. I'm just going to bring up Adams. When he was in the game, he was absolutely dominating. Had 12 and 8, but I feel like he didn't play any of the fourth quarter. It just got really, really small. And I saw him popping in some optimizers and data this morning. Just want to bring him up. I will not be playing him because I do think it just goes small ball again, and Schroeder's been so good for them. But, at 5,500, even in 25 minutes, he could give you a double-double. Lopez, Whiteside are fine too. I just don't find myself needing either one of those guys. Anyhow, guys, that'll do it. Once again, just want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support these videos that Zach and I are putting out for NBA. It's going to continue the rest of the playoffs. So make sure that you hit subscribe so you get it on your feed when they are up. Good luck today and have a great one.